What's up, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to make a Clapton coil. This process is fairly simple, but it does take a little bit of time and a little bit of practice to get used to this. I got some 28 gauge Nichrome, and I'm going to be wrapping that around this 24 gauge kanthal. So first thing I want to do, see how crooked that is? I want to straighten this out. I want to put my needle nose pliers on the far end, and then the opposite end and the end of my drill. And then I'm just going to twist this for a couple of seconds, and it'll straighten it out. Just like that. Now next thing, I'm going to need quite a bit of this. I only have a 25-foot roll. I'm not sure why I bought such a small roll, but it is what it is. And it's going to take quite a bit of this stuff. And you see how it's trying to curl up on me already. We'll fix that here in just a second. Now I want to do the same thing with this. Take one end and put it in our chuck. So I'm going to go ahead and straighten this. And that should be good enough. So next thing I want to do is I want to take the 28 gauge Nichrome out and put the 24 gauge back in. So hopefully you can see what I have going on right there. The next part of this process, I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to pull this wire around, and I'm going to do the first wrap by hand. I'm going to pull it around again, and I'm going to do the second wrap, and then now I'm ready to go. So you see how I have this here? I want to keep my index finger back here on the back side, and then my thumb over here on this side. I want to get this 28 gauge Nichrome as tight as I possibly can around this 24 gauge kanthal. And usually when you start out, you know, it clumps up and does all that. You have to just keep going until you find a groove. Once you get that groove, then it'll straighten out and it'll start wrapping evenly. Okay, so if you can see what I've got going on here, I got this fairly tight. It's not perfect or anything like that, but it looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and I'm going to wrap a single coil with this. So I think I'm going to wrap this on a 5/64. I'm going to do probably 4 or 5 wraps. So you want to try to get these as close together as you can. Okay, so since I'm doing a single coil, I'm going to be going through this outer negative and this. I'm going to skip this positive and go through this positive. So I'm going to tighten down my positive. And now my negative. You can go as tight as you can get these because this wire is rather thick. And here's what we have so far. Next thing I want to do is pull this off of here really fast before I fire it and put it on an ohm meter just to be safe. It's always very important to put safety first, so here we go. And this comes out at 0.36 ohms. That's a bit higher than I wanted it to be, so I should have went with the 4 wraps. I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to come out with that Nichrome wire, so I went with 5. I always like to use that strumming technique. It works very well. You know, I think for this, because the ohms are so high, I think I'm going to pop this off of here. Seems it's just lighting up a little bit too slow for my taste. I think this will work out much better. So we'll hit this at 70 watts and see what we get. There we go. And that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to check my screws one more time here, make sure that everything's good and tight, and they are. We'll let this coil cool down a little bit and then we'll wick it up. You can see I can pull that back and forth, and that's what we're looking for. You don't want it too tight, you don't want it too loose. So now all we have to do is cut off our excess, because I want to keep that little pocket underneath the coil. And I just want the sides coming down and hanging down into the bottom of the juice well. That way it'll soak up my juice and just pull it right up into this Clapton. And that's pretty much it. Let's juice it up. Right here I've got some pineapple cake that I've been messing with here lately. Let's pop this on here. Hit the button real quick. You see how it just soaks that juice up. So let's wet it some more. I think we got enough. So let's give it a fire again. Yeah. I normally run this in dual coil, but for this video I'm just doing a single to try to save time. So let's give it a vape. So there we go. I'm on the Segelei 100 watt. We're going to vape this at 70 watts. So as you can see, the vapor production on this is crazy. The flavor is awesome. I've actually got this a little overjuiced at the moment, but it's really good and still performing fantastic. That's pretty much it, guys. That's how I make my Clapton coils. Hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, this was a 24 gauge kanthal with 28 gauge Nichrome wrapped around it. The Nichrome is 28 gauge Nichrome 80. That's what I use to wrap around the 24 gauge. And it works very well, man. It's not too bad of a build, man. You just got to take your time with it and go slow, and you'll be making Clapton coils within no time, man. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, take care and happy vaping.